Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez resuming the civil docket for the 210 District Court for June 8, 2022. Again, all matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we're streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
Bottom of page 2, Judge.
Okay.
Clause number 2020 DCV 1655 Landmark Professional Surveying Inc. versus Fusion Industry LLCs. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen H. Nicky on behalf of Landmark Professional Surveying.
And good morning, Your Honor. Keith Donati in from Houston for the defendant.
Okay, I have this down for an entry of judgment or dismissal. Where are we?
Judge, we have been receiving payments pursuant to a settlement agreement, and unfortunately, the last two payments that were supposed to be made for March and April, or April and May, I should say, were not made. I spoke with Mr. Donati. He's checking with his client to verify why those payments weren't made, and stated he would get the payments to us. Upon those two payments, the case will be settled in full and we can file a dismissal. In the alternative, if we don't receive the payments, I do have an agreed judgment which I can file.
Okay, how are we anticipating those payments are going to be submitted? And one, are they going to be monthly, or just thinking how far down we can set this out?
Your Honor, my understanding is the payments are delinquent. I report to Oklahoma Council because that's where the company is, and they sent me I sent the letter up yesterday when I got it from council, and I got an email back from Oklahoma Council saying the payments would be in by Friday. So we probably just need 10 days or so. Okay,
well, I'll give you 30 days. So entry of judgment, dismissal will be reset for 30 days. If you have paperwork closing this out sooner than that, then feel free to email it on over. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you. May we be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Who's next?
In clause number 2021 DCV 1001 Humberto Calderon versus Flair Homes Texas Inc. Announcement of council, please.
Jason Chapman on behalf of the plaintiff.
Robert Skipworth on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
And I think for purposes of the record, the cause number is ending 1002. Final status conference. Gentlemen, where are we?
We are actually in arbitration. Mr. Skipworth filed a motion to compel arbitration. I agreed to it, and I think we got that filed, right, Robert? I can pull it up.
Yes.
So yeah, I have an order abating proceedings and requiring arbitration as of January 11th.
That's correct. That's when it was filed.
Okay. So I still have you down on the docket though. Okay. So let's go ahead and cancel out. Well, do you all have an update? What's going on?
Yeah, Judge, I met with my client a month and a half ago. We had a mediation. There was an offer made by the defendants. He went back and got some additional reports, and he's ready to move forward with the arbitration. So that's where we are. We just have not set that yet. And I think that's primarily my fault. And I will work with Robert on agreeing to an arbitrator and getting an arbitration date.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you all on that July 27th docket call. Myrna, we got to cancel out the June final civil pretrial and then the July pretrial. The 7/27 docket call is going to be a status conference. I just need a little more specificity. I don't really want to be, we have these old dates here, but I just want to check in and see if things are moving or not. So we're coming back on July 27th at 10 a.m. It is our old docket call will now be a status.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. All right, take care. If you don't have anything else, you all are excused. Who's next?
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Top of page 3, Judge. In clause number 2021 DCV 2333 William Trust et al. Versus High Desert Investors LP. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Jim Brewer on behalf of Wilmington Trust, National Association trustee, the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Cynthia Canales. I'm here on behalf of Harold Davis, and we are here on behalf of High Desert Investors LP.
Okay, we're set for a scheduling status conference. Good morning. Looks like we were scheduled also back in April. Can you all give me an update? Are we ready to get a scheduling order going, or what's going on?
I think we can do a scheduling order. It's going to sound a little like Groundhog Day as far as this today. Basically, this is a receivership over the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And, on 111 West University Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant actually agreed to the receivership, and the parties have been working ever since then to have this hotel taken over by another group. That is still in process. And I tried to get a time estimate for you, but I do not really have one. I think they're working as fast as they can to, it's very complicated because there's a Hilton franchise agreement and things like that that have to be worked through.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Ms. Canales has more information on that than I do.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that they are trying to work with a new investment partner. However, they're saying that the process is slow and that well, we don't control the process. So we're hoping that it'll move sooner than later. But
maybe let me ask this. What is there a better way rather than getting a trial setting? Is there a better way? Do you all have a different proposal on how scheduling should go forward? Or do you all just want your trial date?
I think we could, I would ask at this time that we just reset the scheduling conference and the parties can talk about that. Perhaps we could even do something like an agreed judgment. I don't know. We haven't explored that.
Mm-hmm.
But short of that, I think we would want a trial date.
Ms. Canales?
I think if we can reset it, I guess, one more time for a scheduling conference and then see where we're at that moment. And then if we're still kind of in the same position, then possibly set it.
Okay, I'm going to reset then the scheduling conference for 60 days. So that gets us into August. We'll do August 17th at 10 a.m. Know that pretty much puts us at least a year out from that date in terms of a trial. It might be later. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it'll be August 2023, but that's not so far off from where you would be now anyway. So if we end up just needing that trial date, we'll still, I think, be all right.
We don't anticipate needing a trial in this case. I think it's either going to be this workout we're talking about or foreclosure.
Okay, all righty.
Your Honor, just one thing, if I can confirm with Mr. Brewer if he received the check. There was a check that we had sent over.
I have received an email that it was on its way.
Okay, and then there was an issue, I guess, on one of the reports that was filed. I think one of the March, I think, was filed twice, and I think we're missing February.
Yes, for the court's information, the check we're talking about is a property tax refund or something like that the parties have been looking for, and I think the High Desert attorneys located it and they're sending it over to me. That's supposed to go to the receiver. And then on the second issue, the receiver, under the order appointing receiver, is supposed to file monthly reports, including some financials, and one report was not filed for February, and I have asked the receiver for that several times. So we'll be prepared to have that on file or explained at the next status conference.
Okay.
All the other receiver reports have been filed monthly.
I'm not sure if those were the ones you were requesting, Ms. Canales, but I'll just rely on you all to discuss those things, and then we'll come back in August. All righty.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you both. If you
Bye-bye,
don't
Judge. Have a good
anything else,
day.
y'all are excused. Take care.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Staying on page 3, Judge, in cause number 2022 DCV 0662 Wilmington Savings Fund Society et al. Versus Charles Jones Jr. et al. Announcement of council, please.
Yes, Travis Gray for the plaintiff.
Your Honor, Hector A. Beltran, attorney ad litem, appointed to represent the unknown heirs of De Silva and another party.
Okay.
Your Honor, we just wrapped up service by publication. I think we might have gotten that on file affidavit yesterday, the day before. Ad litem filed its answer, so we got to let that answer period run, and then we'll likely be moving for agreed judgment. So ad litem gets the report on file, and we determine if there's anyone else we need to get served.
Okay, so we're set just for a status. My thought is to come back in 60 days. Is that, you think that's good enough time?
That's exactly right.
I'll just put it as a status. If there's something else that you all need that to be a hearing on, please submit the request via email with whatever pleading, but that should give us, I think, enough of a window. Mr. Beltran, anything you're requesting in addition to that?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Gray has sent over, his office has sent over the petition, the affidavit of posting by publication. We filed our answer this morning on behalf of the unknown heirs of De Silva and Jones. Yeah, I just need a little bit of time to do our due diligence to find out if there's anyone else out there that's entitled to notice, and we'll provide our report to Mr. Gray in the court, and we'll proceed from there.
Okay, sounds good. Like I said, just let us know if anything else comes up. All right, we'll see you in 60 days. Thank you both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Gray.
Who's next?
In cause number 2021 DCV 1109, Eduardo Alfonso Villa versus Francisco Arambula Nunez et al. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Judge Piero Garcia for the plaintiff, Mr. Villa.
Good morning, Your Honor. Cindy Vasquez on behalf of defendants One Oak and Andrew Gomez.
Morning, Your Honor. Matt Phelps on behalf of Francisco Arambula Nunez and Flores Logistics, LLC.
All righty. Okay, final status conference. We're set for jury trial in July. What's going on?
Judge, and I actually talked to counsel earlier, and there's still some discovery that we have left to do. And I think we've discussed trying to set up mediation with Judge Villa as well. So more likely than not, I think we're going to be circulating a motion for a continuance, for a brief continuance, so we can complete discovery and take a stab at mediating it.
Okay, so the mediation deadline, I gotta think is on the scheduling order, is probably the 28th of June. Had we not had that scheduled yet? Is the outstanding discovery kind of preventing that, or what happened there?
Yes, Judge. We there's some depositions that end up having to get rescheduled because of conflicting schedules. It's now set for June 14th, I believe, if my memory serves. Is
the deposition
of one of the parties.
Okay.
And then we're just trying to get an available date for Judge Villa that will work for everybody.
Okay. Is everybody kind of on the same page with that?
Yes.
The July
Yes, Your
trial?
Honor. Yes, we've completed the plaintiff's deposition and the deposition of a co-defendant driver. It is my client's deposition that has been rescheduled, and plaintiff's counsel has been very professional in accommodating the rescheduling. So that, I believe, is the only deposition that's pending right now, absent, the request for any corporate representatives' depositions. But I think that once we wrap up my client's deposition, we should be in a position to assess settlement, if that's what the other counsel thinks.
So I guess my thought is this, I understand, I guess, the need for maybe what we're looking at is an eventual motion for continuance of the trial, but I don't want the fact that kind of everybody's on the same page with that to just kind of take the foot off the pedal, right, on scheduling the mediation. And so what you're already telling me is we're probably going past the mediation deadline that is on the scheduling order. I am happy to accommodate a little more time on the mediation deadline. So I will extend the mediation deadline to the 27th or the 26th of July, which what I'm telling you is you're going to have your deposition in June. You get that mediation scheduled before we come back on what is our docket call. I'm assuming you all are going to, if we don't have it resolved, have some type of continuance of the July trial date. And if everybody's in agreement, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to push that back yet. I want you all to schedule the mediation. So your mediation deadline is going to be the 26th of July. Okay, you have your June deposition. That should give you enough time where you should already be calling the mediator and getting that scheduled between the deposition time and that July 26th. Understood?
Your Honor,
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, the only issue that I foresee may arise is that I'll need to go and check Judge Antcliffe's calendar. I know that we were looking at Judge Villa's calendar to schedule mediation, and I know that he's at least booked until mid-September. I don't know about Judge Antcliffe's, but we'll certainly look at all the mediators that are available to conduct this mediation. I just know that generally they've all been very busy and booked, you know,
Yeah, well.
a month or two in advance.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, you all have had that deadline for a while, I can imagine. So, you know, that's going to be your deadline. So we'll see you on the 27th. Well, no, we still have the final civil pretrial on June 29th. So I'll get an update from you all then. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Who's next?
Top of page 4, Judge. In cause number 2021, DCV 3044, Jorge Eduardo Ordaz versus Miguel Valdedor Hernandez and Regal Carriers LLC. Announcement of council, please.
Hi, Joaquin Rodriguez and Daniel Gonzalez on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Colin Powell on behalf of defendant Regal Carriers LLC.
Okay, status conference today. Looks like we've never, let's see, what are we doing? Why have we never had a scheduling conference? We don't have a trial or anything. What's going on?
Okay, well, we had a little issues getting answer in this case. Mr. Powell's entered an answer on behalf of Regal, one of the defendants, earlier this week, and then we're serving the Mr. Hernandez via the Hague Convention, and so that's taking a little bit of time, you know, because he is a Mexican citizen and he is in Mexico. We've attempted to serve him here in El Paso, but we've had no success, and so we've had to serve him through the Hague, and so that's kind of the delay of why we're here without a scheduling order.
Okay, so how are you asking to proceed? How much time do you think you need? What do you want to do, Mr. Rodriguez?
Well, I think we can start, or we can, I guess, proceed with some form of scheduling order. We've spoken with Mr. Powell, and he's trying to the extent that he can, is trying to also see if he can accept service on behalf of the defendant driver. I know that's contingent on whether or not he's still employed with Regal Services. But I do know from previous experience with serving people through the Hague Convention, it takes months to effectuate. And so my gut is saying that maybe we get a scheduling order on the books for now so that we can at least proceed to some extent. And then as we get the gentleman served via the Hague, we can see if that scheduling order still works or if we need a.
So I think then we'll do a full year out. Myrna, can you tell me if June 9th, 2023 has anything specially set or anything that we know we need? To not be setting anything. I'm going to say June 9th, 2023. That'll put us on. Yeah, that should be exactly a year out. We'll get you the court scheduling order. I need you all to go ahead and agree to a mediator. If not, the court will select one for you. The docket call will be the Wednesday before then. We will have a setting in 2 weeks to enter that scheduling order, signed off on by the attorneys. Return it to us. You all don't have to appear. If not, you'll have to be here to tell us that we don't have it, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty,
Thank you.
we'll get you that order. Thanks very much.
Take care. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye. Who's next?
Bottom of page 4, Judge. In cause number 2019 DCV 2381, James Curry versus JAI Dining Services of Peso Inc. Announcement of council, please.
Morning, Your Honor. Oscar Mintz on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning. Neil Stockbridge for defendant.
I haven't seen you guys in a minute, and you're on my July 14th and 15th trial, huh? How are you doing? It's been a minute. How's everybody?
Everybody's doing okay on our side, Your Honor. How you doing?
Good, thanks. So we're here for a status conference. Tell me you guys resolved everything.
Well, Your Honor, as we notified you the last time, we're still waiting on the TRICARE lien. I spoke with them on Friday. They're supposed to expedite it. And I did let them know about this hearing today and let them know about the upcoming trial date. I'm hoping I get it soon. That's really what's the holdup in this matter, Your Honor.
Okay. We don't have anything until the docket calls. So is it worth coming back, say June 29th to check in on that? You know what? I know for me, I'm going to say yes. As much as I hate to bug you guys, the main reason being, yes, I do want to kind of get a heads up ahead of time, is that as I think because you guys have always been on my 14th and 15th trial docket. It was one of the ones that I had scheduled since the end of 2021. So it's a little bit of a busy trial docket. So the more specificity that I can have for you all in terms of where you land in the trial cases, if this isn't cleared up, I'd like to give you as much heads up as I can. And so that'll give me a chance to work through some other cases, see where you all are, see where we are, instead of waiting until the 13th. I wouldn't want to do that. So let's come in on June 29th at 10 a.m. because you're somewhere else, Mr. Stockbridge, right? Another time zone. I don't want to do 10:30. That'll probably cut to your lunch hour.
Yeah, I'm in Central Time Zone, so but I can make anything work.
Sure, 10 a.m. I just really want to check in with you all and see if something's changed, how feasible the July 14th and 15th is. To me, it is one of the older cases, but I have a lot of cases for the 14th and 15th. So I will ask you to maybe consult your schedules also, because as much as I have so much on that particular week, I also have a lot of flexibility outside of that. So if we can work on something else, if those dates aren't going to work, I'll work with you all if you'll work with me. If that date doesn't work and it's not resolved. Okay, so I'll just check in with you on the 29th, see how it goes. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, gentlemen. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next?
And on page 4, Judge, in cause number 2022 DCV 0195, Juan Garcia Jr. versus EP Intricate Fire Systems and Concepts at all. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is James Fuel on behalf of Juan Garcia Jr., plaintiff.
Okay, let's see. We had an order of substitute service motion back in April.
Yes, Your Honor. So if you recall, David Leffman had originally agreed to accept service. Then he didn't appear at things. And so we went ahead and served everybody personally except for the motion in order to substitute. We've done all that. The answer dates have now come and gone. I think the last one was just a couple weeks ago. And I'm preparing a motion for default judgment. I needed to talk to my client about what exactly he'd request in the default judgment. So I'm working on that. I think I can get it on file in a week or two.
Okay.
And we can proceed from there.
What I'm going to do is set this for a status in 30 days. once you file your default, send it to the court. Anticipate that you can have your default heard on that day if it's filed timely, okay?
Understood.
All right, 30 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. Who's next?
On page 5, Judge, up on page 5. It's cause number 2019 DCV 4805, Fernando Santillanes versus AJ Airfield Lighting LLC versus Jordan Foster Constructions LLC versus City of El Paso individually et al. Versus Daniel Martinez. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jonathan H. Huerta for plaintiff Fernando Santillanes. Blessed to be you, Judge.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rebecca Alvarez covering for Marisa Ibarra on behalf of Jordan Foster Construction.
Okay, let's see. This is the one we had a motion for continuance on, and then I need to go back to my emails because I had a thought about this. Is that everybody on this one? Let me see, joint motion for continuance. Okay. Let me just go back to my emails. There we go. When was the mediation deadline on this one? Or when is it?
Your Honor, we were to pick a mediator, and that was picked. I believe the mediation deadline was prior to sometime May 5th, I believe, or before May. Due to scheduling issues, that did not occur.
Let me go to the discovery control plan. It's kind of some strange dates in here. It looks like, I feel like we're missing a setting in here somewhere. Mediation deadline, well, was in February. Is that right? Must have extended it. Because it had us down for trial in March. Am I looking at the right one? Holy smokes. Let me make sure.
Judge, there has been 2 scheduling orders.
Okay, let me go back. Maybe I'm looking. There's 913, order of court setting. I don't see another one on here. Well, in any event, what you all are asking for is a continuance of the August jury trial, right? Yes, and I believe you asked for January of 2023. I don't think we can accommodate that. Myrna, can you look at December, please? And Ms. Alvarez, obviously you all are in agreement with this, right?
Well, Your Honor, Ms. Ibarra Williams did want me to make the court aware that there are several catastrophic injury trials beginning in October that kind of take up the calendar for us through December. And that's why we had requested the January 2023 date. But if the court, we're looking at mediation in around August. And so hopefully, we can come to an agreement.
Well, let me ask, you're saying you're looking at, is it actually set? Do you all have mediation set?
I believe we have an agreed date. Maybe Mr. Huerta can speak to the confirmation.
Judge, forgive me, Your Honor, what happened with the first mediation as it fell through? I spoke with Ms. Ibarra and we'd agreed to each present to the court or to ourselves 5 mediators, and then we pick amongst those 5, or one, 2, or 3, and then scurry to set the mediation time. I mean, that's as I understood it with Ms. Ibarra.
But so do you have a mediation set right now?
No, Judge.
Why not? I mean, we've gone past at least one mediation deadline, right? There's still, I gotta think, I'm looking at how we have it scheduled right now. There should have been a final status conference, probably the end of July, right? And the mediation deadline would have been one day before that. So I'm probably thinking it would have been something around July 10th. So
Your Honor,
probably.
I'm sorry, Judge. Please forgive me for interrupting, Your Honor. To be quite candid, Judge, and speaking with Ms. Ibarra, I will be turning in, and it hasn't run very long past the discovery deadline. I'll be turning in full discovery by today or tomorrow, and I follow my own soldiers. I'll put that on me, that if the prior mediation had been postponed due to that small issue, but it wasn't, it was because certain things fell through. I think when speaking with Ms. Ibarra was present the mediation, I'll be able to come up with something that I think will work, and we could have this done. So I believe to assess it, that would be a clear picture.
I'm not sure that it's clear that you all have a mediation deadline right now. So first of all, I'm going to give you a mediation deadline of August 9th. Because I'm not really sure why that there hasn't been more diligence in doing that.
Yes, sir. And Judge, I put that on me if there's any.
That's fine, but y'all need to go to mediation. This is a 2019 case.
Yes, Judge.
We had a joint motion for continuance in February. And really, the only thing I see on here is mediation on February. I have a notation back in March that mediation is on February 22nd or 25th. Keep docket, call dates as check-ins, new timetable. And here we are looking at a new trial date, and you all are asking for another continuance. So that's not going to cut it. I'll have to look at the trial. I mean, I'm looking at December 9th for a trial. But I'm equally concerned that we haven't really, doesn't look like to me we've done really anything in terms of the mediation. And that's going to be a tight mediation deadline, because I'm hearing all around that, mediators' calendars are booked. So we're going to come back on June 29th. Oh, no. We're going to come back on June 22nd at 10 a.m. and you're going to give me an update on the status of mediation.
Yes, sir.
And then for now, the trial setting, the joint motion for continuance is granted. The reset will be December 9th. December 9th, that's Friday. So docket call is on the 7th. But the mediation deadline will be that August 9th setting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Who's
Happy
next?
Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, Miss. Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. Who's next?
That's number 2020 DCV 2000 Arthur Benawaski versus State Farm Mutual Automotive Insurance Company and Thomas Craig Matthews. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Where's Mr. Jessup? Okay.
Cliff Jessup here for Defendant State Farm, Judge.
Okay, give me a second. I was just trying to find you in Odyssey. I know the case. I just can't find you over here. 2000. There you are.
Yes, Judge, this is an old, well, it's not an old case, but this is the case that we had all those motions and arguments.
I remember.
Motion to compel depositions, motion to exclude the felony conviction, and then the court granted.
I remember.
Now,
So we're
Mr.
at
Jessup
final
and
civil
the court set
pretrial.
parameters on the deposition. And so we have now a new order, and now we need to reschedule the deposition. And I do owe Mr. Jessup my client's deposition, because we had to sort all those things out with all those motions and hearings. So that kind of, put things behind. So
let me ask you my question.
Mr. Jessup rightfully is entitled to my client's deposition that now he has been deprived
Hold
of.
on a
So,
second. Hold on a second. Ms.
we
Lavinati.
probably need a small continuance, Judge. And I heard the prior hearings and I'm just like, oh God, I don't know how I'm gonna tell this to the court.
Hold on, Ms. Lavinati. That's where I'm headed because I'm looking at my 14th and 15th trial docket. How married are you to that trial setting? And I need both of your opinions on that.
Judge, my one issue is if we take the deposition, everything goes perfectly, I suppose that would be the last thing we need. Of course, there's still some time to get a transcript, obviously, which we'll need before. But if anything else comes out in the deposition, that could cause some delay. I don't know what else would. I just you don't know. So I think the continuance would probably be good.
Okay. So without moving anything yet, I do want to give you all the heads up about that trial date. That trial date is probably the messiest trial date for this court for this year because it was one that I scheduled when we were still in super COVID protocol, which means that I did 6 months ahead of time. I thought I had everything real organized, but that meant we had one date, kind of like 1 or 2 dates per month. So I have a lot of cases on that date. Okay. I'm still working through them. I'm sure you're going to work through yours. I just know it's gonna be a busy one for the court. So just heads up, I'm not gonna change anything. I know you all will continue to do what you need to do. But when is that deposition not scheduled yet?
I believe we're talking about the 7th. I don't know if it's been noticed. I think it was the 7th, which would have been a week before the current trial setting.
Yeah, July 7th.
We're talking about that close up to.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, with one of the other cases, maybe bring you back on the 29th if that had been done, and then check in there, and then maybe we could consult calendars if the date needed to change, because as busy as that particular trial date is, I have a lot of flexibility around that trial date. So, if you all were available, we could work on rescheduling very close to, so we weren't pushing it out so far. But if we're talking July 7th for the deposition, that really doesn't give us any wiggle. So I think it's going to be wise to possibly be looking at maybe not a continuance because somebody's asking it, but I think for court scheduling purposes, we might have to start looking. I won't be able to get with you guys until the docket call then, if I don't get a motion for continuance before that, so just good luck, and I'll see you on the 13th is what I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, but please, I'm just going to ask for your patience on that. I know it's kind of, a little messy, but I really will do my best if we're really at trial to get you something that is workable scheduling wise for you all and for the court. Okay.
Yeah, and I hope, Judge, after my client's deposition, we will maybe even go to another mediation, because our last mediation, we didn't have the court's orders. We didn't have my client's deposition. So I think there was a lot of things that were up in the air that were missing. So I anticipate that they're probably going to want, this is a first party claim, a dangerous case to try. I mean, because of the attorney's fee situation. So I think we're probably going to have another mediation after my client's deposition. I think there was some, I don't know if Ronnie told me something, but
okay.
I'm assuming that that's going to be the next step, because the first depositions, we did not have the rulings. We did not have the
So
plaintiff's
if we end
deposition.
up in that realm, right, in that world, please kind of try and coordinate some type of proposed scheduling for the court. So I'm going to need to fit you in somehow. Well, if you all are going to take a little bit more time, I do want to get to it if we have to. And so I want to make sure I have the space and the time. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Thank you both. Take care. If you don't have anything else, take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Who's next?
In cause number 2021 DCV 3350, El Paso's Area Teachers Federal Credit Union versus Adrian German Garcia. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Hector Beltran on behalf of the plaintiff.
Anyone here on behalf of Adrian German Garcia? No. I'm just looking, we had a default in April and now motion for summary judgment. Did something happen in the interim, Mr. Beltran? Did the
Nothing,
person
Your
show up?
Honor. He showed up at the default hearing, if I recall correctly, and looking at my notes.
Okay.
And then I do not see whether he ever called in to try to negotiate something, but regardless, we clearly haven't reached an agreement. And so
Sure.
we filed our motion for summary judgment, and it's now set for June 29th. I believe we've already sent
Oh, I
notice.
see. You know what? I was skipping all, like we were already at the summary judgment. Let me check with the court. Ms. Hernandez, Mr. Marufo, we've had no contacts from an Adrian Herman Garcia?
No, ma'am. No, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Beltran, whatever contact information you have, or I don't know, Myrna, if we might have something, how he it was, because that's what I recall, that you all had one case where, yeah, someone showed up and that's why we got the summary judgment. I want to make sure we send him, we're only the 8th and the hearing is on the 29th. I want to make sure we get notice to Mr. Garcia. And as long as we have that, we won't have any hiccups for the summary judgment hearing. Okay.
Your Honor, we did send notice to him via email. His email address back on the 31st of May. For the hearing, for the summary judgment hearing. I believe we also sent him notice of today's hearing.
Mr. Beltran, just to cover our bases, I want to make sure we sent him something too. We might, I mean, we might have it. If whatever we have, if you'll just get that to Ms. Hernandez, shoot it to her in an email. And if it's just an email, so be it, phone number, address, whatever it is, I want to make sure we send him something, and that way we're squared away on the 29th.
No problem, Your Honor. We'll take care of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Beltran.
May be excused.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
Judge, back to page 2, middle of page 2. In cause number 2018, DCV 2529, Leon Edward Wright and Guadalupe Ramos Duran versus Laura Ramona Ayala et al. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Manny Morgan on behalf of the plaintiffs.
Good morning. Do we have anyone here on behalf of Mr. Dickey?
Judge, I called you, contact the office and no contact with anybody there.
So this is an ongoing entry. Oh, motion for non-suit. Let me see.
Yes, Your Honor. Today we filed the remaining non-suits that we needed on file. I believe Mr. Dickey has already received his client's non-suits. So once that order was signed, we'll be good.
Okay, did we get a proposed order?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Oida, do you see one? Ms. Rios, do you see one there?
I haven't received one, no.
So Mr. Morca, if you just shoot it on over via email to Ms. Hernandez, we're good to go. I think literally that's what we've been waiting on.
Yeah, no, that sounds good, Your Honor. I'll make sure that we get it sent over.
Send it to Ms. Hernandez and I'll sign off on it today. Thank you for waiting today. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
take care. Who's next?
Back up page 5, bottom of page 5, Judge. In cause number 2021, DCV 3701, TD Bank USA, NA versus Michael Lopez. Announcement of council, please.
Robert McLaughlin on behalf of TD Bank plaintiff.
Okay, good morning. Let's see. We are scheduled for a default today, and I believe this was a reset. Did we provide notice to Michael Lopez?
Yes, it was mailed out to him on May 12th of this year.
Okay, beautiful. Mr. McLaughlin, you may proceed.
So in this case, we believe that he had opened up a Target credit card on January 28th of 2019. He made his last payment on August 16th of 2019. The account was closed and charged off with a balance of $790.93. We're seeking that amount in damages plus costs to the court. We would ask the court to take notice of the business records, the non-military declaration, and certificate of last known address and issue judgment for the plaintiff.
The court will take notice. I'm reviewing and will grant. Is there a proposed order? Mr. McLaughlin?
I believe that there is one that has been e-filed, and if not, I will e-file it again and send a copy to Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, that's the best way. If you'll send it to Ms. Hernandez, it's the most direct way to get it to me and get me to sign it quickly.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care.
That's all I have. May I be excused?
You may. All righty.
Thank you.
Who's left? Anybody?
We're just waiting on the 11 o'clock, Judge.